What's up, and welcome back to the Something's Bruin podcast. This is episode 15. As always, brought to you by BNG Productions. That is Black and Gold Productions. You can follow them on Twitter at BNG Productions. You can follow myself on Twitter at _ Mike Sullivan, and you can follow Nick on Twitter at Nick Melanson _. We have three slates of games we're going to cover today. It's the Rangers game, the Leafs game, and the Blues game. But before we jump into that, Mel, how was your week? What'd you end up doing? I see you're sitting there on the other side of the studio here with a mustache and a little afro,
Yep.
looking like Pablo Escobar.
And I got the robe on too. Amazon finally came in and they delivered my Halloween package today, Tuesday, November 8th. So
just in time for Halloween.
Just in time for Halloween. So I didn't want it to go to waste, so I thought I would throw it on tonight. So if you're not watching, I am wearing a grossly oversized Jerry curl wig with a mustache that is every time I open my mouth, it rips the hairs off of my face. But we're willing to sacrifice anything for the pod.
I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a look. It's kind of a look.
I'm kind of feeling it myself, honestly. Yeah. I definitely do kind of have the Pablo Escobar look. Look at it, even came with a hairnet.
You went full out. You literally look like a you know what? You kind of look like
I can't see shit.
What's his name? Hyde from that '70s show. Like I could see you just sitting on one of those like on one of those couches in the.
I look like a John Candy character.
Yeah, you do. You do.
This weekend. Oh my gosh, I did actually do something this weekend for once. So my roommates and I, we all went to Quinnipiac, which is also the school of Connor Clifton, humble brag.
Shout out Cliffy Hockey.
And Devin Taves taking over the league. But I'm the only one from it.
He went to Quinnipiac too?
You freaking bet your ass he did.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Quinnipiac churns out those like right around 6 foot, 6'1", 5'11" mole defensemen. That's their bread and butter. That's their wheelhouse. But I am the only one. I was in a suite of 5. I am the only one from Massachusetts. The rest are from Connecticut, the Bronx. Shout out Kieran, and Jersey. And 4 of the 5 of us were able to get together this weekend in Connecticut at one of my roommates, Parker, his house down there, and we just hung out, sat around a fire, twisted some caps, as my dad calls them, chugging some brews.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
Yeah, no, we just had a good time. It's probably I think we always try to get together, but with everybody in different states and everybody's on different schedules, it's so hard to do anything. And it was like the stars aligned for this weekend, so we finally got together and hung out, and we just kind of caught up. Oh my gosh, actually, a little bit of a sidebar. We were trying to find something to do. So we were just driving, and keep in mind, we're in Western Connecticut, so it's farm country. Like there's very, very little out there, and we're driving around, and I can't say anything with this wig on. Holy shit! We're driving around, and we come across an antique store, and who doesn't like to just get lost in an antique store? There's some cool shit in there, and we found out that the person who owns the antique store, his job is to clean out abandoned houses, foreclosed houses, whatever it might be, and he just takes shit and he sells them in like this little house on the side of the road. So that's where we went, and we were walking around, and we found a box of Beanie Babies upstairs, like a huge box of Beanie Babies, and they also had the tag on the ears. And like if you're a kid our age, I mean, we're early mid-20s, whose grandparent did not have a bunch of Beanie Babies lying around? I have a trove of Beanie Babies in my room that I got from my grandmother. So I was like, oh my gosh, guys, look, Beanie Babies. So we, instead of buying 1 or 2 or 3, we just took the whole damn box downstairs and said, how much do you want? She said, give us $1 for a Beanie Baby. How much you think are in there? My roommate Mike was like, I don't know, maybe 35, 40. She was like, give me $50. We went, all right. We went home. 97 Beanie Babies we just bought for like 50. Yeah, no, for like $50. So we went home and we were just ripping through them, and we were looking them up because some of them are worth some money.
Yeah.
And we made a whole little spreadsheet. We put all the shit in there, and then my other roommate Parker is gonna sell them all on eBay, and the four of us are gonna split the profits.
I was gonna say, dude, and especially since they still have the tags on them, like some of those are actually worth like a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, and they're all like pretty much all of them have like errors on the tags and shit. They're all from like the early 90s. Like we got some like we have like a whole set of like Easter bunny ones. 3 of them. Somebody was selling them on eBay for some big bucks, so we did some research. And we'll see what happens. Trying to pay
Dude,
off college by any means necessary.
screw buying a Powerball ticket. You just
Yeah, no.
jackpot.
Yeah, we found an old box of Beanie Babies. But that was pretty much my weekend. I didn't do much other than hanging out with my roommates and getting Beanie Babies. Drove home on Sunday. Watched that horrible offensive disaster Patriots try to put up. And that was my weekend. What about you? What'd you do?
This weekend, actually, some of my family was home from college, so I went and go see them, and I ended up staying over at my aunt's house for no more than 5 hours, and we were
Yeah.
just drinking and hanging out, and ended up playing Family Feud, and like the whole time, and it was honestly one of the best times of my life.
Were
Maybe.
Andrew and Zach in attendance?
No, they were not there, but it was my other cousins, Marcus, Mia, and Abby. They were home, so yeah, so we were all down there hanging out and doing whatever. But yeah, so we can just kind of jump right into this talk right here. We ended off last episode with the comeback win against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then they followed that up. We'll cover 3 games tonight, like I said earlier. Rangers, Leafs, Blues. Went into MSG playing the Rangers, and Bruins kind of lit it up. They had a 5-2 win. Allmark had 18 saves on 20 shots. Defense looks great, even without Forbert. They can look a little bit leaky at times, but it's never to a point where it's just full, complete offensive domination from the other team. But Pasta had a goal. 5 different goal scorers in this game: Pasta, Coyle, Frederick, DeBrusque, and then Lindholm with an empty net. Foligno also 2 assists that game. Hall with 2 assists that game. That was a good one. And then they followed that game up with a loss against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which a lot of people weren't really focused on the game anyways. There was a whole other distraction. I don't know if you guys heard this Mitchell Miller guy. But we're going to try not to dive too deep into that today because I did already put out a short talking about that. Go check that out. That should be on our Spotify page as well as our YouTube page. But yeah, the team just wasn't really looking the same. They looked sluggish. They looked distracted, obviously.
It's almost like there was a huge black cloud over the team or something,
Yeah, it's almost
Don't
like
quite
there
know
was
what
something taken away from the game.
It's almost like it was completely manufactured and avoidable by the team. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
Just one of those things that could have easily been avoided. Just that's going to be a saying on this organization for a while.
It is.
But yeah, lost to the Leafs 2-1. Allmark had 26 saves on 28 shots. I believe that was the game too. The Bruins only had 14 shots on net, something like that. They were not the same team for obvious reasons. So yeah, Marchand got the goal on that one. It was a penalty shot goal. Actually broke Ilya Samsonov's ankles. He had to leave the game, and he didn't come back yet. Which I'm not laughing at the injury. I'm laughing at the fact that like Marchand legit like broke his ankles.
And I want to add one more thing too, since it seems like he might be out for a little bit of time as well.
Really?
So by any chance, well, I only say that because I noticed that the Maple Leafs they gave one of their goalies an emergency contract, called him up to the NHL. Do you know who it is?
Is it Shalgren?
Nope.
Who is it?
That would be Keith Petruzzelli.
Oh, nice Italian boy.
He's from Massachusetts, and where did he go to college?
Quinnipiac
University, baby. He was one of the best goalies in the entire country at QU last year. I think it was last year. It might have been the year before. I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Look at QU.
he was drafted by the Red Wings. And as you know, you have 3 years if you don't report to the team in 3 years, after that year, you're a free agent. He decided to stay at QU his senior year, lost his draft eligibility, so he wasn't a Red Wing product anymore. Now he's a free agent. When he graduated with Quinnipiac, keep in mind he was the best. I believe he won the award for best goaltender in the ECAC. ECAC, is that what Quinnipiac's in? Hang on,
I believe so.
let's put it out. Hang on.
Yeah, let's research this before we start. I mean, I did say that I fell into the same trap the other day. I said Jimmy Vesey was a Hockey East guy. Turns out he
Yeah,
was
he went
not.
to Harvard.
Yeah. So that's on me.
They are ECAC. Okay, they are ECAC.
ECAC.
Hang on, let me restart. Okay, wait. Okay. Petrozelli was one of the best goalies his final season at QU in the ECAC. And he actually came and he tried out with Boston. He was here over the summer in camp. They didn't sign him. He went to Toronto, and now he's probably not going to play, but he's going to be on the bench for the Maple Leafs, which is pretty exciting for him. He's from, I believe it's Wilbraham, Massachusetts.
Yeah. That sounds like a Western Mass town. Oh man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Wilbraham.
But good goalie prospect. And he's like a legit prospect, so we'll have to see what happens to him. Yeah, Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Absolutely no idea where in the state that is. I know it's not anywhere near us.
Nope, that's for sure in the sticks.
Yeah. Toronto Marlies. Damn, I'm just pumping this guy's brakes. No, Toronto Marlies this year. He's 6-0, 6-0-0, 2.31 goals against average, 922 save percentage. Good goalie.
Hey, that sounds like those sound like some stats comparable to a guy named Linus Ullmark.
It does. It sounds like a Maple Leafs and a goalie. Maybe they'll ship him up here to Boston for somebody, and we can torment them for the rest of their existence.
Yeah, send him home. Send him back to Mass where he belongs. But
yeah,
but like you said, like even those numbers that you just spewed off for that guy, what is it? Petrozelli?
Keith Petrozelli.
Ullmark's numbers are better. He's got a 2.05 right now, goals against average. That's absurd. And he's got a 932 save percentage. That's insane.
That is unbelievable. 9-1-0. I mean, that's goalie dominance too.
Yeah, dominance. I would say it's probably right now if you had to pick Vezina leading candidates, it's probably him and Carter Hart right now.
I would certainly think so. I mean, especially too with Swayman being out. Do we have an update, by the way, on Swayman, on what's going on with him, a timetable?
I mean, the fact that he's just standing up on his own immediately after the game, there hasn't really been an update other than just week to week, but
yeah,
I would say it's probably nothing more than like a strain on his somewhere in his leg.
And I mean, listen, you never want a player to get hurt. There's never a good time for a player to get hurt. But if that was a thing, I mean, right now you can afford to have Swayman out if Ullmark's going to play like this. I mean, my goodness, I thought that St. Louis was going to be the game that we saw Kincaid play, but he obviously didn't play the other night. So when do you think we're going to see Kincaid?
Well, I know that the Bruins have a back-to-back coming up, and it is November 12th and November 13th. November 12th, they play the Sabres, and then November 13th, they play the Canucks. I would say Kincaid shows up in either the Sabre game or the Canuck game. Probably the Canuck game.
Good, I want to see him play.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, like, Kincaid's not a bad goalie. Like,
it seems like the Bruins are ripe with goalie prospects now, especially after that trade for DiPietro from Vancouver. I mean, it's never good when an NHL caliber goalie goes down because you usually only have one, sometimes two in your system if you have a good backup. And the Bruins are in a position now where Swayman's down, and I don't know what Kincaid's going to be in the NHL as a backup. We've certainly seen AHL goalies come up before and just crap down their legs, but we'll see how he plays, and it's promising when you look behind Swayman. Swayman's your goalie of the future. The guy's 24. I mean, he's one of the candidates last year for the Calder. People thought he could have took home, the Rookie of the Year award, and you're looking behind him, and you got a couple good goalie prospects there too. And it makes you excited too because I mean, everybody needs a goalie. Teams need goalies. I mean, they could move one of these guys.
I will say too, another goalie that we have in the system, he's in Providence as well right now, is Kyle Kaiser. Listen to these numbers right here. Talk about goaltending depth that just all around depth that the Bruins have right now. Kyle Kaiser has started in 6 games. He's 4-0-1. That doesn't add up to 6, so I'm not sure how that is. But
Maybe he came in relief.
that's probably what it was. His goals against right now, sub 2. He's got a 1.87, and he's got a save percentage of 0.931. I mean,
wow. How old is he?
Kyle Kaiser is 23 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that actually makes me a little excited. I wonder. Then if that's the case, why do they trade for DiPietro?
I don't know. But maybe I'm just speculating here. I have nothing, but maybe as a piece at the deadline, maybe teams are looking for an extra goalie or a goalie for their system. Like you got 3 guys you can move.
It's not like the professional baseball where you have like 1,000 minor league teams. You can just stash these guys. I mean, you got one AHL team. I guess you can loan them out to other teams if you want, but you got to think that they're going to move one of these guys at the deadline or something because you can't have three quality prospect goalies playing for one team. There's just not enough pucks to stop. So one of them's going to get moved. That was a really good analogy, by the
way. I mean, it's everything is so good. The depth we have offensively, defensively, goaltending wise is good. And when I had even mentioned months ago when I was on as a guest on the Black and Gold Hockey podcast when we had just signed Kincaid as a free agent, he'd spend like Kincaid is an NHL player. He's spent time in the NHL before with the Rangers and other teams, and he's fine. Like he's not a liability out there. And me, Kevin O'Keefe, and Mark Allred all mentioned that bringing Keith Kincaid in here was really a move that would be utilized in a break glass in case of emergency situation, which this is right now. Swayman's hurt, so you don't have to scramble to find that extra goalie. You have this guy in your system for this exact reason who has NHL experience and understands what it's like to play in an NHL environment. So they planned this out very well just in case.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a great situation to be in, and I guess I want to ask, what was your takeaways from the games this week? These last 3 games here.
Well, I will say let's do the Blues game really quick before we do that. Blues game that was last night, if I'm not mistaken, 2 nights ago. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, Bruins got the win 3-1 over the St. Louis Blues, who are a absolute dumpster fire right now. That was their 7 in a row. Allmark had 26 saves on 27 shots, and no surprise there. Goal scoring from 3 different players. Jake DeBrusk got it started. Bergeron got that second goal, giving the Bruins the lead, and then Trent Frederick with a nice little sneaky wrist shot from like on top of the circles, just sneaks by Binnington. So yeah, Bees get the win 3-1 in that. Improved to 11-2-0 on the season, and it seems like all the chemistry in the locker room. It probably never left the locker room, but that distraction might be over now, I think. And I never thought it was going to be too big of a hindrance on the team. Obviously, right away it was going to be, but you got the leaders in that room: Bergeron, Krejci, Lindholm, even leading the team past all of this nonsense that the front office just threw you in.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know. I feel like that's why it was so frustrating, because it honestly, like, it breaks your heart to watch Bergeron, of all people, Patrice Bergeron, have to sit down with the media. He did a full sit down interview with the media, and he has to address this stupid shit that is like none of his doing. I mean, the reports were that they went to the Bruins locker room to ask them if they felt comfortable with the Bruins signing this guy, who we're now learning the Bruins have been talking to since the summer. The team said, no, we don't want him in our locker room.
Yeah.
Bergeron's been very vocal about saying he is not welcome in this locker room. And Sweeney goes, let's sign him anyways. And
Yeah.
on top of that, you're 10-1, right? And as much as we talk about the Boston media, how toxic it is to players, to teams, to organizations alike, Toronto is the hub. There is no hockey city in the world like Toronto. They are so toxic. They are so ruthless. They have their reporters are dogs. They'll go after anything, and it's great reporting. And they'll dig anything out of a team, any situation up there. They're good at reporting it. But you're throwing your team to the wolves to have this come out like the 2 days before you go up to Toronto. You're going to sign this guy, and we
Yeah.
saw what happened when the Bruins go up to Toronto. Not only do they lay a stinker, not only do they not show up, they had 21 shots that game, which is far below their season average of about 35. The whole team is being pulled left and right before the game, after the game, during the game. They have to answer these questions that the team thought was worthy to sign this kid for 3 days. They
Yeah.
owe him like $1 million over the next, if they buy the kid's contract out, they owe him like over $1 million the next 4 years. They're probably going to go to court because they voided a kid's contract that he signed. All of the blowback. This was a national hockey story. It was on national news that you signed this guy for nothing, absolutely nothing. And you think about long-term ramifications too. You have Bergeron and Krejci who are facing retirement at the end of this year. You have David Pastrnak, who's a pending free agent. Do you think that this could impact him not wanting to sign here? He already seems like he isn't, too close with Don Sweeney. At least that's where it's been reported that he isn't too fond of him. I mean, like, what are you doing for something that you didn't even have to do? I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's not like the Providence Bruins are like hurting for a right shot defenseman. Like
Yeah.
there was no reason to do this. You just brought on a
Yeah.
shitstorm for nothing. Literally for
Yeah.
nothing.
And it's even more frustrating when I don't know if you heard Cam Neely's press conference
Yeah,
yesterday.
before Channel 4 cut it off 3 minutes into it.
Yeah, and I tweeted about it yesterday, but Cam Neely and Don Sweeney have been saying, like, this was a breakdown in the process. Like, we need to go back and we need to reevaluate how something like this happened, how this guy got signed, how he didn't see Google his name. Literally type Mitchell Miller into Google and like 400 articles come up telling you everything this kid has ever done since second grade. Go on Wikipedia. The second paragraph on his Wikipedia page lists every allegation this kid has ever faced. The process should have taken 5 minutes. And you've been talking to this kid since the summer, and you've done, 6 months or not 6 months, but we're in November now. So what, 3.5, 4 months of research on this kid? You decide to sign him, and you're surprised at the blowback you got? What is the reason? Google his name. I don't understand. There's like a million steps to take when signing a player like this. There's 1,000 people to talk to. You check in with the league. If they sign the kid, the NHL and AHL commissioners already said he's not playing in our league. So then what are you doing? If you can't play, what are you signing him? They didn't do that. They didn't check in with the family. They didn't check in with anybody. And it's just like, how, like, you didn't just drop the ball. Like, you're carrying like a bucket of marbles and you just spilled them all over the ground. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I saw this and I was like, this is just, oh my God, it's just so Don Sweeney. I was just celebrating. I've been so critical. I'm
We were
sorry, I don't
just
mean to go on a rant.
No,
I've been
go.
so critical of Don Sweeney. This is our 15th episode. For 13 episodes, I've shit on this guy. I've told you that he sucks, that they fired the wrong guy, that he has no idea what he's doing. Last episode, guess what I did last episode? I said I was wrong. And guess what happened a few days later? All of this bullshit. Like, oh my God, it's so frustrating. And then to have them sit there behind a microphone and to act like they don't know what happened. How did you miss this? You are the people in charge. Cam Neely, you're the president of the Boston Bruins. Don Sweeney, you're the general. Like, you two are the head honchos of this organization. So, like, to say, oh, we got to go back and check our vetting process. Oh, we got to, how do we let this slip through our fingers? You sat down with the man and his agent, and you had a meeting, and you offered him I don't understand. Like, there's no blame to be deflected except for on yourself. It's so frustrating, and like, you just know that they just wanted to sign this kid, and then just like push it to the side and be like, yeah, you know what, they'll be mad for a few days, but this is Boston, something's gonna happen, they'll start talking about something else, and we'll all forget about it. And like, no, like, that's like, oh my god, it was like the most gross negligence I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen somebody so horribly incorrect about the perception of quite anything in their life other than Don Sweeney and Cam Neely when they decided to sign this kid. It's unbelievable.
Dude, not only that, right? But to then say during the press conference that you cut him due to new information. We're in the information age. There, you can't just sit there and lie straight to our face and expect us all to believe it. Like it's too easy. Like you said, go on Google. This has been up there for years. It's nothing new. The new information they probably got is that he's not allowed to play in the NHL. That's probably the new information that they got.
Yeah, and it's like I want to emphasize, like, this is the Boston Bruins. As much as I hate it, like, they are so bad, like, they are so slimy with their shit. They fired Claude Julien during a championship parade. I believe it
Yep.
was when the Red Sox won the World Series. They
I think it's
fired
the
Claude.
Patriots, but
Or
doesn't
either way,
matter.
there's so many freaking
Yeah.
champions in the city.
we
They all
lose
get mixed
track.
up. When the Patriots won the World Series, oh my god, when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, they fired Claude Julien in the middle of the parade. They've put out press announcements of cutting players or firing people at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, or they bury it in like late Sunday night news. Like, this is what they do, and they tried to sneak this past us. I don't know if you saw the tweet that the Bruins put out.
Are you gonna?
What?
No. You keep going. You keep going.
I was gonna say, every single time the Bruins sign a guy, there's a huge graphic. There's all this information. There's this big celebration. We just signed this person. Their tweet when they signed the Bruins, when they signed Mitchell Miller, was like, Boston Bruins agree a contract with Mitchell Miller. The picture, the thumbnail was a picture of the Bruins center ice. It was a link to an article on the Bruins website that just said the Bruins have signed USHL reigning player of the year, Mitchell Miller. It had a quick little blurb about like his allegations, like it was no big freaking deal. And then that was the end of it. And like, holy ratio, there was like 2,500 quote tweets. There was like 6,000 replies. Like, people were going crazy. And I know that poor myself, I work in communications. I work in like digital and the social media world. And I know that poor person, that poor social media coordinator for the Boston Bruins who had to tweet that article out, probably clicked it and went, well, damn, we're going to have some damage control to do in the morning. And it was just like, they knew that it was slimy. Yep. They knew that they shouldn't sign this kid. You can tell by the way that Sweeney and Cam Neely talked about the kid. You can tell by the way that the Bruins' lack of wanting to speak about it. They were very closed lip when they were in terms of like interviews when they were asked about it. You could tell by the tweet when they signed the kid that maybe we shouldn't be doing this. It was just like, Google the kid's name. Yeah. The 3.5 months that they claim to have been doing research on this kid, digging into his character. Google his name, read the first 2 articles, maybe click on his Wikipedia page, and you'll have all the information there as to why maybe you shouldn't have this kid play for the Boston Bruins. If you let him play, like, it's just, I couldn't believe it.
I think honestly, the way that they were thinking, right, and Don Sweeney and Cam Neely, is that over what is the biggest knock on Don Sweeney as a GM? Biggest
drafting.
Knock. Boom. So, and what's our prospect pool ranking?
32nd.
Out of how many?
32.
There we go. So I think his thought process was that, shit, no one else is going to sign this kid. This kid, hockey and personal life aside, if you just look at him as a hockey player, he's a good hockey player. So I think that's how he was looking at it. And he was saying, okay, here's a kid who's pretty good at defense, playing hockey, whatever. Might be a scumbag, but he's going to help boost up our prospect pool. It's going to help us in the future. Not thinking about the ramifications of literally morality. And it's like you can't sneak that by people. You just can't.
Yeah. And I'll say it again, it's totally unfair that this team, these players that are off to a historic start, and luckily they don't have to talk about it anymore because the kid's gone, but the fact that they had to spend their weekend trying to defend the actions of these two meatheads running the organization, signing a kid like this is absolutely insane to me. And like to talk about the stuff that this kid has been accused of doing, like the city of Boston, it's no secret, they've had a very, very bad rap for racism in that city. And
It's
we're not just talking about like in the Bill Russell days. Like this is stuff that's fairly recent, like the Adam Jones stuff at Fenway when he was being
Yeah.
called racist slurs. It's
Yeah.
happened at Celtics games. And like the Bruins have been one of these teams who have been able to stay clear of these allegations. They've had a good history in terms of the community, in terms of giving back. You mentioned it before, in the short that you put out the other day, what they do for when they go to the children's hospital and they work with kids with disabilities. Obviously, honoring Willie O'Ree was a great gesture as well. And to just sign a kid who is incredibly racist, the stuff that he was saying, to sign a kid who is bullying and belittling a disabled person who the Bruins, like that is like, it's just, I can't believe it. Like, it's just, it was like so like uncharacteristic of this Bruins organization,
It
of the
would
climate, of the culture, of everything that people that came up, like Ray Bork. We can start with Bork. You can go as far back as Bobby Orr, to Chara, to when Joe Thornton was here for the couple years, he was wearing the seat, to Bergeron, to Krejci. Like the people who have come through this locker room, the Bruins are never linked to any controversy ever. Like their players are such good leaders, and to now have this shit happen on your watch, and it's not like you drafted a kid and he turned into a bad egg. Like you drafted a kid
right.
who was drafted, who then had his draft rights rescinded because of how much of a dirtbag he was, who's been trying to scrape and claw back into the league, who every team was saying, hell no, we don't want this kid. And then the Bruins had to say, well, we do. It's like, why? Like
Yeah.
it made no sense. And even like I understand, lack of depth, because they got lack of depth, prospect depth, I will say, everywhere. But you don't have a need for defensemen on your NHL roster right now.
Right.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just, it felt like you said, kind of making a move to make a move. And
Yeah.
like, boy, did they pick the wrong player to do that with.
Yeah. It's absurd, but they did cut ties, so hopefully that's the end of this whole shenanigan that happened. Terrible, 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 ugly stain on especially the front office. Like and we literally were just praising them. Like, oh, they're starting to turn it around. Like they're doing so well, and then boom.
And the most frustrating part is, you keep saying ugly stain because it's a horrible stain. This is a stain that lasted for 3 days. They signed him on like Thursday night, and he was cut by Sunday night, and people are still talking about it.
It's a stain that lasted that lasted 3 days, but it's in the long run, it's what people are going to remember.
It's unbelievable. And even financially, like I know Ty Anderson was saying that based off of what Cam Neely was saying in his interview, that he inferred that he probably couldn't reveal as much information as he wanted to because he's getting the gist that this is going to go to court. And unfortunately for the Bruins, it probably will, because they signed a guy to a contract. The Bruins had the information. There's moral clauses in the contract. And in those 3 days that he was a member of the Bruins organization, he didn't violate his contract. The Bruins cut him, and they're going to be on the hook now. And it was, if the Bruins buy him out, that's why I said it was like $1 million plus before they'd owe him. I think it was like right around $250,000 per year for the next 4 years that the Bruins would have to owe him if they buy him out. And if they go to court, which they very well might, this kid, he's probably going to be backed by he could be backed by the Players Association. Like, who knows? Like,
He definitely will be.
it's a whole can of worms that the Bruins just opened to have this guy in their organization for 3 days. It was just like, oh, it's just like, I say I can't believe it because like this is asinine. This is an SNL skit. Like, how did this happen? Seriously, like, you're off to a 10-1 start. Everything's going right. Bergeron's back. Krejci's back. Like, the Bruins haven't been the popularity of the Bruins right now, I feel, is the highest it's been in some time.
Yeah.
And to just throw this bucket of crap in them, like right in the locker room. It's like Sweeney went in there with a bucket of crap and just went and just hucked it on the ground. Like,
when he signed him, he literally took a bucket of crap, walked into the locker room, and dumped it all over the B.
Yeah,
and then made Bergeron, Krejci, and whoever else clean it up.
Exactly. And then to have your 10-1 team who you just did this to go to Toronto, the media shitstorm of the hockey world, lay a freaking stinker in Toronto, lose. They're on a 7-game winning streak. They dropped to 10-2, big deal. But like, that game against Toronto was, you watching the game, it was a clearly different product from the Bruins than you've seen the previous 11 games of the year, how many games they've played. And the only outlying factor is that they had this massive rain cloud, this huge devastating storm over their head, caused solely by their own organization's upper management.
And I'm not even gonna lie, that game, heading into the game, I had zero excitement for the game. Like, zero.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. And I'm sure the players go out and play.
And that's a game against Toronto. That's a game that everybody should be pumped for.
Yeah.
And they just ruined it.
Exactly. And that's, it's, at the end of the day, the players go out and play. But like, when you have these players being questioned before the game starts, and you're going to face these questions after the game starts, and they're probably talking about it in the locker room, and as a locker room, and as a leader, as Bergeron, who's been in that locker room wearing that spoked B for 2 decades, as Krejci, who just came back from overseas to come back and play for like his 17th year, whatever the hell it is. All of these players who've been in the Bruins locker room for decades, when you have Sweeney ask you if you should sign this guy, you guys collectively say no, and he does it anyways, I would be rip shit. I would feel so disrespected by this organization, and I fully understand when the Bruins went up there to Toronto, only put up 20 shots and lost. I fully understand, and I fully put that blame on Bruins management.
Yeah. But to get back to your original question, if I took anything away from these, that
was quite the segue.
It was. But if I took anything away from these past 3 games, it would probably be the ability of the Bruins special teams and how good it is. Maybe not necessarily their power play. They still got some kinks to work out in their power play, but their penalty kill is absurd. Their PK right now is running at 94.5% success rate.
That's insane.
I think 94.5.
I think I heard Jack Edwards say that they've only given up 3 power play goals all year. Yeah. We're in game, 12? They played 12, 13 games now. They've given up 3 power play goals. That is unfathomable. Dude. And it's funny too, because you think about, the Bruins, they've always been among the elite in penalty kill percentage. Like, always. Like, 10 years ago, 10 years before that. And you have to think, I mean, really the mainstay in that penalty kill unit is Patrice Bergeron. I mean, the play that he's been doing on the penalty kill, he's flopping all over the ice. First of all, you start every penalty kill with a face-off win. So that's right off the bat, there's a clearing. And I mean, these guys that are just flopping all over the ice, blocking shots, getting pucks out. When they played St. Louis last night for us, but 2 nights ago, whenever you're listening to this, I remember that first. It might have been this. Well, they had back-to-back penalty kills when, like the first period there. But one of those power plays for St. Louis, I remember Jack Edwards saying that, boy, the Bruins have had puck possession more than the Blues have, and the Bruins are on the penalty kill. I mean, it was like they're playing with their food. It was like varsity against JV. It was insane. They were just going out there and and doing that. But I mean, it's not St. Louis doesn't have a great power play, but still to be able to dominate possession like that when you're down a man is insane. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It's Bergeron and Marchand both together on that PK is just not even. It's just not
Good luck.
there.
Good luck. And to
Yeah.
think
Good
that
luck.
they're still getting Charlie McAvoy back. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
oh
my
my
god.
god. Oh,
Oh my
forget about it.
god,
They're
it's
gonna set
over.
records, dude.
It's over. It's
Yeah.
over.
I mean,
Oh
at this
man.
point, you got to start thinking the Bruins start. I mean, if it's a 2-on-1, take the guy's legs out. Take the penalty. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Just get
you're
another
gonna
penalty.
yeah, you're gonna kill it off anyways. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's
No,
unbelievable.
literally. But
One thing. Oh, sorry. Are you still going?
no. Go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say one thing that I picked up was, boy, does Trent Frederick look good,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, I think it's 3 points through the first 4 games here, in November, and that's playing on the fourth line. I mean, he played great last 2 nights ago. Now, whenever you're listening to this, he scored a goal against, I think it was against the Rangers,
Yep.
and he's been on fire. I mean, and he's a guy too. He's a fairly good prospect. I remember the expansion draft a few years ago. I don't remember if it was.
I think it was Seattle.
Yeah, I think it was Seattle. They wanted him, and luckily they didn't take him because he's doing a great job for the Bruins right now. But looking at his career stats, I mean, this is kind of shaping up to be a career year for him. I mean, it's not like he has many
Oh
career stats
yeah.
anyways, but last year, 60 games, he had 8 goals, 10 assists, 18 points. This year through 12, he has almost half the goals. He has 3 goals, 2 of which were scored within this week. He has 2 assists. He's got 5 points through 12 games. I mean, he's on pace for about a 40-point season, which is double what he had last year. So very encouraging play coming from Trent Frederick. And again, this is a guy who's playing on your fourth line.
Yep.
I mean, like we said, the depth that we've had, and even if they want to bump him out and put Lauko back in, I mean, they have plenty of options down there. It's very encouraging.
And that's what somebody on Twitter kind of pointed out too. They were saying it's not only Frederick, it's the whole bottom six. Like every single one of those guys is just bought into the system and they're playing their roles so perfectly, which I couldn't agree with more.
Yeah, I mean, even a guy we haven't talked about, Charlie Coyle. The guy
Yeah,
scored
oh
in
my
in
God.
4 consecutive games. I mean, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
I mean,
dude.
he's looking insane. I mean, the Bruins' depth up the middle right now is looking great. I mean, obviously Bergeron, Krejci. I mean, Charlie Coyle's giving you big minutes, and he's giving you big production too out of that third line center spot. And he's kind of had a rotating door at his wings. He's played with a lot of different guys, and he's still producing.
Dude, and Charlie Coyle, I've said this for the longest time. When they moved him up to the second line center role, I was like, this is just not his role. Like he's not a second line guy. But he is the perfect third line center. Perfect. He's big. He's physical. He can produce. He can, like you just said, he can play with anybody on his wing. Like he's the perfect guy in that third line role to give you 14, 15, 16 maybe minutes a night and play in any situation. There's 2 minutes left, up a goal. You see Charlie Coyle up there, that's your third line center, you're not worried. You're like, okay, Coyle can hold this down. Like any line out there honestly can hold it down.
Yeah, and you didn't even mention perhaps Sweeney's favorite part about him. He's from Weymouth, Mass.
Yeah,
He's a
the
local
mascot.
kid. He's a local kid. He belongs
Yeah.
here. But
But
no, very encouraging play from the Bruins, despite
for
all of
sure.
the shit that's going on right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're probably about halfway through the episode right now, so I will remind everybody here that we are sponsored by
Canna Wellness.
Canna Wellness.
Canna
So
Wellness.
it's time to talk about the amazing Canna Wellness company. Canna Wellness offers you 4 distinct experiences for the different challenges you may face throughout the day. Canna Sleep, Canna Mend, Canna Fresh, and Canna Boost. It's the trusted brand for sports, fitness, and wellness households. With over 50 vitamins, nutrients, and herbal extracts in 4 compact sprays, it's the most convenient way to get back on track with no pills, water, or messy powders. 90% of nutrients in these oral sprays are absorbed in less than 30 seconds. It's like an entire health food store in your pocket and is endorsed by Olympians, NHL players, and pro sports stars who rely on the Canna Wellness Company to support high performance. Mel, let's talk about each product.
Let's do it. First up is Canna Boost. It gives you the ability to skip the coffee and sugary snacks and energize the healthy way. Use daily before you work out, when studying for an exam, and other times you need increased clarity, stamina, and concentration. Canna Men provides the after party liver support and works fast to relieve hangovers in the morning after drinking. This unique oral spray supplement is blended with 11 vegan vitamins and herbal extracts to replenish your body to combat headaches, sickness, and lack of energy. Canna Fresh reduces stress and gives your body an immune system boost. Whenever you're nervous before a presentation or need to calm down after a hectic day, the 11 natural and vegan ingredients in Canna Fresh take the edge off without making you drowsy or unmotivated. Canna Sleep is an all-natural and vegan sleep aid, and it's convenient and fast absorbing. No mixing beverages, no waiting for gummies to kick in, just spray, roll over, and snooze. Control your dosage on how much sleep you need. If you want to try these amazing Canna Wellness all-natural oral sprays, please go to cannawellness.com. That is CANI-wellness.com. And use our promo code BNG25. That's BNG25 to get 25% off everything on the cannawellness.com website. Sully, back to you.
I think we should jump into some DM questions.
Oh, I was so hoping you'd say that.
Yes,
we got
sir.
some good ones. Do you mind if I go first?
Oh, go for it.
All right, first up, this was a fantastic question sent to us today by friend of the show, MCDC
Hell
at
yeah.
Melinda_paints.
What's up, Melinda?
We all know what's been going on with this Powerball news, right? Who has it? Actually, I think, I hate to say it, but I think they just announced the winner today.
Wait. Before can I say something really quick?
Absolutely.
The amount of money that was won was 2.04 billion, right? You know
Yeah.
how much they took home after taxes?
1.3 billion?
424 million.
No way. Really?
Screw job. I mean, 424 million is still so much money. But come on.
Maybe this is just me, but I wish that I would prefer them to just market it that way instead of saying,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a ridiculous amount of money, and you'd ever have you and go down to the 15th person in your family tree below you, and they won't have to work either.
I don't know if gas keeps being 380.
That's true. That's
a
good point. But I would much rather them say that the prize is 400 and something million, and you get every cent of it, than saying the prize is 2.04 billion, and you get like a sixth of that.
Yeah.
But that might just be me. Anyways, back to the question. Melinda asks, let's see. It was a bit of a long one. She said, winning the Powerball jackpot, once the machines get up and running again, Jeremy Jacobs bought the NHL Bruins in 1975 for $10 million. Quite the investment, because today it's worth 1.4 billion with a B. Melinda's question is, if she were to hit the Powerball, which unfortunately, Melinda, it sounds like you didn't, because I believe the ticket was in LA County, unless you're living out west. But if she hits the Powerball and she offers the Jacobs family 1.5 billion, which, as we just explained, it would not be, it would only be 450 million. Do you think they would sell it to me? I'm gonna say no, I don't. But on a separate note, boy, do I wish the Jacobs would sell the Bruins.
Yeah.
Oh my, I cannot stand them. What?
Here's a good question for you. By the way, I don't think they would sell it to me, but I would love to put up an offer. But if you did offer to buy it and they sold it to you, what would you change?
I would change the president and the general manager. That would be the first thing I do. I would fire them. That's a good question.
I can tell you. Can I say what I would do?
Yeah.
Just immediately bring back the yellow seats. Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
That's a good call. I would honestly, those beautiful white Pooh Bear jerseys, official third jersey. I would do that.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I like your question. I'm trying to think what else I would do.
You know, I would have Mark Wahlberg be the PA guy.
No, I would have Dennis Leary be the PA guy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Dun, 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 dun. I would make sure that they never get rid of Zombie Nation as the goal song.
I fear that day so much.
I would retire Bergeron's jersey now.
As
I
he's
would give him
playing.
I would give him the honor. Um I I think those are the only immediate things. I still
Yeah.
like I would maybe make a new parking garage, but
Okay.
that's, I would change the name to the Dunkin' Donuts Center, I
Interesting.
think that's where Providence plays, but we can have
No,
2 of
they
them.
changed it. It's
Oh,
some
they
some
did?
like corporate name now. Yeah.
Oh, I hate when they do that.
Yeah. I think it's Amica. If I could be so wrong about
Oh,
that,
I
but I'm
have
pretty sure it's
Amiga.
Amica.
I have Amiga.
And there you
Um,
go. All right, you're
although,
halfway to buying the team.
yeah, maybe not the Bruins, but the Ottawa Senators are currently up for sale. Maybe we can join in on Ryan Reynolds and his bids by the Senators.
He did say he's looking for partners. So
He
Ryan
did.
Reynolds, if you're listening, we're open.
I got about $6 in my wallet. I can Venmo you the rest.
Yeah.
We'll see where that takes us.
I'll give you an
That was
IOU.
yeah. That was a good question, Melinda. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So we did also get one from other friend of the show, Zach Taranko. You can follow him on Twitter at Zach ZACH underscore Taranko TARANKO. And Zach sent in a great question. And it's something that I actually like really wanted to touch on even without the DM. So it was perfect that he sent it in. He said, what do you think about Hampus Lindholm this season? Does his production so far prove to you he's a star defenseman? And do you think his scoring / offensive production will go down when McAvoy comes back?
Do I think he's a star defenseman? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I think he already was before this season. I would say that if anything, he's moving up into the upper echelon. He's not a no. I still don't think he's a Norris caliber defenseman, but
Really?
I don't. I mean,
I do.
so far this year, I would say he is, but like I don't put him up there with Adam Fox. He's not better than Charlie McAvoy. He's never going to win Norris anyways, as long as Cale Makar is still playing. But like he's not a Victor Hedman. Like there's still not a long list, but there's still a handful of players I would comfortably put him over. I think in terms of like defensive power rankings, I probably would have put him maybe in the early 20s last year. I think this year, I think he's getting right around 15. I think he's
So
between
you
15 and 10 right now for me.
so you would put him in like that B tier of defenseman, like before the season started?
Well, okay, if there was an S tier of defenseman, there's only one person, and it's Cale Makar. If there was an A tier, I would put like, I don't know, 1 through 7, and I would have McAvoy at like, I hate to say it, I would have McAvoy like the bottom of A tier.
No,
And
that's
then
fair.
I would have Hampus Lindholm like at like B plus tier, but there's a couple names ahead of him.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair.
Like I would put Hampus Lindholm. I would comfortably say he's probably between 10 and 15 in the league, and I think he's a little closer to 15 than 10.
So, do you think his offensive production goes down when McAvoy comes back?
Not at all. No, I think it
Okay,
goes up
yeah.
if anything.
Yeah.
The way that I think Montgomery's defensive system is, doesn't matter who's out there, everybody's wheeling and dealing, baby. I mean, we've seen Connor Clifton jump into plays and rip some shots off the post. We've seen some unbelievable production out of defensemen who have looked like skeletons back there in years prior. I'm talking to you, Mike Riley. Hampus Lindholm, if he has another competent defenseman out there, not that none of these defensemen are. I mean, they're all talented players, but if well, actually, hang on. Before I answer this, question for you. Do you think the pairing is Lindholm and McAvoy? Do you think they split them up?
I would rather see them split them up.
That's what I was going to say. I would like to see McAvoy and Carlo, and then I would like to see
Really?
I just because of the height and the size difference personally. I don't want your two biggest guys playing together because you're not dropping Carlo to the third pairing. I would like Grizzlick. I would like this is a good conversation. I would like Grizzlick playing with Hampus Lindholm on the second pairing, and I would like Carlo and McAvoy on your top pairing. And then your third pairing, I would like to have, because of how phenomenal they've been playing, Connor Clifton and Derek Forbort. And you've kind of got a bopper or a big guy on each line paired with a mobile guy although McAvoy is the best of both worlds. But I think that is your most balanced defensive unit you're going to get.
See, now here's what I would do. I just jotted it down. I would go McAvoy and Grizzlick, and then I would go Lindholm and Carlo, and then you, like you said, you can't break up Clifton and Forbert. Those two together are like peanut butter and jelly. They're perfect.
They really are. They're unbelievable. They're like cornbread and chili.
Yeah, like
no, but
water and ice.
No, it's some unbelievable depth that they have at defense. But if I really don't think it matters who Lindholm is playing with. I think that this is closer to who he is than who he's not. Like he's playing out of his mind right now. He had a 4.9 the other night. But like he's an extremely talented player in a system that is tailor-made for defensemen who play like him. And I think that you're just seeing the product of that. I think he's feasting. And I think it doesn't matter if he's playing with McAvoy, if he's bumped to the second line because McAvoy's in the top unit. I think you're going to get the same production out of him.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Lindholm's got 13 points in 13 games. His season high in his career for points came in his second year in the NHL. He had 34 points, and I think
on a shitty Ducks team too,
nonetheless, on a crappy Ducks team, and I think getting him over from Anaheim probably boosted his his like willingness
production
to compete and produce, and he's become a different player in Boston, and I think this is what everybody expected him to be coming into the NHL anyways. But now he's in a competent system with competent players around him, with a fan base that's just energized to the max right now. And I think if this was a game of like NHL 23, his morale is at like 100. Like he boosted all the way up. Like he's rolling.
And not just that too, but like I mean that Anaheim team was just shit. I mean, just piss poor. And like the worst part about that team was their defensive unit. They sucked. He was the only good defenseman on a shitty defensive unit. And his defensive partner, the year that the Bruins traded for him, was literally the worst defenseman in the league. I don't remember his name. I don't remember his name. He was the young kid. He was only like 18. He's a really good defensive prospect, but that's what happens when you're like 18 and you're like 140 pounds soaking wet. Like he was not good, and that's gonna bother me. I don't remember his name, but no, he was not good, and that was Hampus Lindholm's defensive partner. And like now he's part of a team that has a great coach in place for his style of play. He doesn't have to log 40 minutes a night because they got plenty of defensemen who can go out and do what they do. He's got a great forward unit for his incredibly long stretch passes that he does so effortlessly. Like this is the perfect system for him to feast. And we saw him when he came over here last year, how well he played in the since they post trade deadline. And like this year, like this is who he is. 13 points in 13 games. He's not going to give you 82 points, but like this is closer to who he is, in my opinion, than the player that we saw in Anaheim, who was still a great player. But you just said his career high was what, 32 points, and he's 34. Got 34 points. He's got 13 and 13 this year. I mean, it's tailor made for him. And while we're on the topic of defensemen, I would be remiss if I didn't mention what Erik Karlsson is doing in San Jose.
Oh my
God. Is he back or is he back?
I heard this stat today on Spit and Chicklets. RA rattled it off. It's a little RA stat. He's the first defenseman to reach 10 goals in this amount of time since World War II.
Who was the defenseman?
I don't know. He didn't mention it.
And Erik Karlsson is I'm you can see me craning my neck trying to read my screen with this freaking bullshit on my head right now. Erik Karlsson is a guy who was the cream of the crop. He was the best defenseman in hockey for a good stretch of years there. And then of course there was the Achilles injury. There was the personal tragedy, which took a big toll on him. I know he lost one of his children, and you could see it took a huge effect on the guy, mentally, physically. You know, you could understand why his focus was on different things than hockey at the time. And I am so happy for Erik Karlsson because he's truly a great guy. And just a little insight into what he's doing in San Jose. He scored a natural hat trick the other day. First hat trick of his career. He was leading the San Jose Sharks in goals at the time. 14 games this year. He has 10 goals and 9 assists, 19 points in 14 games. For like that, it's like that's insane numbers. And Erik Karlsson, his career high is 21 goals. He has almost half of that through the team's first 14 games. His career high here is 82 points. He's on pace to absolutely dismantle that. And for the first time in 4 years, he has a positive plus minus. I think things are starting to turn around for him, and I'm happy for it.
And by the way, this is on a terrible San Jose Sharks
they are
team.
ass. Yeah.
Dude, he I heard this other stat too, same thing, RA. Spitting Chicklets. He rattled off his stat.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. Pink Whitney. He rattled it off. I think he said the Sharks have 34 total goals this season, and Karlsson has been on the ice for 24 of them, or it was 32 goals and 24, something like that.
He's like, unbelievable. What? And he's unreal. Like I remember we talked about it a few episodes ago. Everybody in the NHL is supremely talented. They're all supremely athletic, but like it's like I'm trying to equate it to other sports, but you really can't. Like in the NHL, like there are some players who are just so much better skaters than everybody else, and it's insane because hockey, the whole sport, is predicated on if you can skate or not, and not just if you can or can't, but how good are you. Like all of these guys in the NHL have had skates on their feet since they were in the cradle. Like they're all amazing skaters. So the fact that you can have a handful of skaters who are so much better than everybody else, I'm talking Cale Makar, I'm talking Connor McDavid, and before that, Erik Karlsson was one of the most seamless skaters I have ever seen. I mean, he was doing stuff, if you're a hockey head, I mean, you know the long line of historic skating defensemen. But if you're young, if you're new to the game, I mean, you watch Cale Makar do. Like, this is stuff that Erik Karlsson was doing back in Ottawa. I mean, he was skating laps around guys in the defensive zone. You're on the penalty kill, they would give the puck to Karlsson. He's just going to do his thing. And to see him go to San Jose, and obviously he struggled there, and to see him what he's doing now, like, I am so happy for the guy. Because, like, he deserves his flowers, and I really hope that he's back because the game missed Erik Karlsson. And also, he's the only one in San Jose, like you said. Brent Burns is gone. He's in Carolina, isn't he?
Yeah, so yeah, he's gone.
I mean, they have very limited, I'll say, forward depth, but their defensive depth is, I mean, you want to compare it to those shitty Anaheim teams we were just talking about. Like, it's not a good team. So, 10 goals, 9 assists, 19 points in 14 games from a defenseman. Out of the world. I'm happy for him.
Dude, the whole Western Conference just as a whole stinks right now.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a dumpster fire out there.
Like, it's actually terrible.
Which is insane because the East is absolutely loaded. I mean, the Atlantic Division alone, I mean, there's 8 teams here. I think every team except for Montreal I could see making the playoffs. Yeah. Like we are I say we like I'm in the NHL. The Atlantic Division is absolutely loaded. And that's just the Atlantic. Like the Metropolitan, they've got some teams out there too. Metropolitan has always been the division to beat. They've always had the Penguins, the Rangers, the Devils are good this year. What the hell is going on with that?
Devils are nasty.
Yeah, the Penguins are good. I mean, they've always been. The Blue Jackets are good now. They've always been. That's been the conference to beat.
They stink.
But the Blue Jackets. Okay, but that's because Elvis sucks. He's been playing like horse shit. But they have some. They have some good players.
Laine, Gaudreau.
Yeah.
2 guys right off the bat, right there.
Which I was gonna pick up Elvis in our fantasy league, by the way. The fantasy league that you're 0-4 in, and boy, I noticed Elvis's stats. He sucks. He has not been good this year. Which you got to think is a large part of why they are towards the bottom of the standings. But no, you're right. I mean, the East, baby, East is beast. There's nobody like us.
The East, did you see it? Or the East, the beast of the East.
The beast of the East. Yeah.
Actually, you kind of look like Andre the Giant when you did that.
I do a little bit. Okay. I want to get into some more questions because we had Another one, another two questions, two great questions, by the way, from, I'll give him his flowers, from the reigning DM winner of the month, Ethan
Yeah,
Moriarty, at E Moriarty WX.
the man.
You guys, listen, if you're listening, your name isn't Ethan, you got to pick these questions up because he's starting to put some distance between the rest of the pack in terms of these questions. I'll ask you the first one here. If you were a top NHL draft prospect, which three teams would you want to be drafted by?
Ooh.
In Ethan's words, which have likely the best future. So hang on, before you answer, I thought there's two ways we could answer this. First, I want to hear, in terms of best future, what team you want to be drafted by, and then I'm going to go look at who the projected top three picks are, and then I'll have you give me one of those three teams.
So I'm picking one with the best future.
Yeah, if you were a rookie, who would you like to be drafted by in the NHL?
With the best future, honestly, Edmonton is probably one. I want to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. That would be pretty cool.
But then you got to live in Edmonton.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's that. Ugh, no thanks.
Ooh, the Rangers. The Rangers would be a good one.
Yeah, but that state tax.
Zibanejad, Fox. Yeah, but that's Stanley Cup though.
I mean, they haven't won it yet.
Yeah, but hey, one day.
That's
And then
fair.
honestly, the Buffalo Sabres. All they need is a goalie. All
but
they need is a goalie.
But they got you're in Buffalo.
Ooh, maybe Detroit too.
It's cold all the time. You get a ton of snow. Again, you're in Buffalo. Their jerseys suck. Except
Buffalo's
their
not
new
a
black
bad city.
their new black ones are it's pretty bad.
It is.
Uh, I'm not a fan of Buffalo. Let's see. For myself, if I could get drafted by one team, I would take the Carolina Hurricanes.
Really?
Yep. They've got some good young players. They're a playoff caliber team. Eastern Conference Finals last year. Am I mistaken? Were they not in the Eastern Conference Finals?
No, they were. They were.
Okay. Also, it's a beautiful place to live. They were at least in the Eastern Conference Finals within the last 3 years. I know that for a fact. I thought they might have been in it last year. I know that they lost to the Bruins in the ECF in 2019.
No, it was no. I'm sorry. They were in the quarterfinal or the semifinals because the Eastern Conference Finals wasn't it Tampa and the Rangers?
Yeah, you're right.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way.
Either way. My pick would be the Carolina Hurricanes. Now,
I like that.
if we were to pick one of the three teams who have the three best odds of getting the number one overall pick, first I want to ask, do you know who they are?
As with the standings as they are right now?
Yes.
Probably San Jose, Columbus, and it has to be St. Louis, right?
Yeah, you got it. Those are the three. So out of those three, Columbus, St. Louis, and San Jose, who would you like to be drafted by?
I feel like playing in San Jose is just like kind of like not fun.
Really? I feel like the exact opposite.
Really? I mean, when they have a good team, like the Shark Tank is buzzing. But
yeah, and you're in California, and they have some of the best jerseys in all of hockey.
I might go St. Louis.
Missouri, though.
Hell yeah, the Mississippi
you don't
River, baby.
It's either Missouri, Ohio, or California. Boy, are those. Boy, does that make it hard. I'll say, if I was like a superstar prospect, like I'm Connor Bedard, I'm Connor McDavid, I want to get drafted by San Jose because I want to be part of building a winning culture, of it's a nice place to live, and you have the whole team to yourself, pretty much, because they suck.
True.
If
they do have nice jerseys. They do have good jerseys.
They do. Yeah. If I were to pick one of those three teams, though, like ideally, I would probably take Columbus. Just because I think that
you can't go through that whole spiel of how cool San Jose is and then pick a team from Ohio.
No. I'm just thinking. I know. I'm just thinking like realistically, like myself as a player, right? If I was a forward, if I was a defenseman, I think I would fit best with Columbus because I think that they have even though they suck right now. I think that they have the best players of the three. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's the best team to be on. I just feel like they're the best of the worst.
Okay,
Like I
that's
can't.
fair.
Like I truly like they're 3-9. They're not a 3-9 team.
They're
Like
really not a three
they're
and nine
better than
team
that. Like
on
for
paper.
let's see. Who do you think? Oh my God, Vegas is 11-2. Holy shit! I
Yeah.
was gonna say, who do you think is a more talented roster, Vegas or Columbus?
Well, Vegas has Logan Thompson. Logan Thompson is playing his ass off right now.
Well, Vegas also has Bruce Cassidy.
Yes, they do. Yes, they
I don't
do.
even I don't even know.
Which is actually like hilarious, to be honest with you. That the Bruins and Vegas are the top two teams in the
Could you
NHL.
imagine? Could you imagine if they meet in the cup?
Ooh. The
Heads
storylines around that.
heads
Oh my
would
god.
spin. Um, I just wanted to go look at the Golden Knights roster to see who's doing what. How they're doing so well. Oh, okay.
Eichel.
Eichel's a point per game player. Riley Smith, Chandler Stevenson, and William Karlsson, and Mark Stone, and Alex Pietrangelo, and Jonathan Marchessault all have 10 points.
Yeah, they
Oh,
gotta.
so they're just extremely deep.
I kind of crapped on them earlier in the season too, saying they were gonna be trash. And I could not have been any
No, I
more
did
wrong.
too. I mean, I thought they
Yeah.
were.
After missing playoffs last year and then Leonard out, I was like, oh, they're screwed.
Yeah, how's their goalie play been?
Unreal. Thompson is so good.
I
He
can't
could
even
he could
find,
win the rookie of the year. He could win
can't
the
even
Calder.
find goalie stats on here. Oh, here it is. Logan Thompson is 6-2. Oh heavens, 6-2.
If you're watching
with
the YouTube, you just saw Mel's mouth drop to the floor.
no, dude, both of them. Okay, Logan Thompson, first of all, we've been talking about the play of Swayman and Allmark out here. Holy shit, they might be getting beat by these couple of fellas out there in Vegas.
They're
Lo-
going nuts.
Logan Thomas, 6-2, 2.01 goals against average, 934 save percentage.
What's Allmark's?
Wow.
Allmark is
Aiden
at
Hill.
932.
Aiden Hill, their other goalie, 5-0, 2.17 goals against average, 925 save percentage. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they got a
not,
good team.
I mean, that's not sustainable. We'll have to see what they can do. But wow, definitely off to a good start. Boy, two teams. I don't think anybody expected to be at the top of the rankings come, early November. Bruins and Golden Knights.
How about Dallas too? Dallas is playing pretty well.
What are
out
they
in the
doing? What's their
Central.
record?
8,
Oh, yes.
3, and
Sagan's
1.
been playing well, hasn't he?
I'm pretty sure he's been kind of having a bounce back year.
Yeah, good for
He's
him.
got 10 points in 12 games, 3 goals, 7 assists. Jason Robertson. This
Yeah, he's
man
nice.
he didn't even like play in training camp. He wasn't signed. Comes in, plays a couple preseason games. He's got 18 points in 12 games right now, playing 16 minutes a night.
Why wasn't he signed?
I'm honestly not sure.
He's like an 87 in NHL 23.
Yeah, he's nasty. Same. Jake Ottinger. Jake Ottinger right now.
He's on fantasy team.
7 games played. He's let up 9 goals. He's 5-1. Goals against average of 140 and a save percentage of 952.
Oh my God.
That's absurd.
It's almost like, boy, could you imagine if the Bruins pass on him in a draft?
Yeah, like, imagine.
Oh, wait a minute. They totally did.
Who's your biggest surprise right now at the bottom of the league?
Let me pull up the standings.
Because I have mine.
You go first then while I pull them up.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. 4-6-2. Jari, 338 goals against, 903 save percentage. Outside of the top 3, Gensel, Malkin, and Crosby, Brian Rust has 8 points in 12 games. Jason Zucker has 8 points in 10 games. Letang has 7 assists in 11 games, 0 goals. And then outside of that, really nobody's producing. This might be the year that they really take a step back, and I didn't expect them to be the team to do it.
Yeah, who's right up there is Ottawa too. I didn't realize they were having that shitty of a start either. They are 1 win away from having the worst record in the league. And this was a team that you and I were saying we think is the most likely to get that wild card spot or the biggest
Yeah.
threat to the Bruins. Holy shit. Although it is interesting enough to look at Ottawa. Columbus, worst record in the league, -25 goal differential. St. Louis, second worst record in the league, -16 goal differential. Ottawa is right there with the third worst record in the league. Their goal differential is 0. The team above them is San Jose, -13. Above them is Anaheim, -22. In fact, they're the only team with a sub-negative category ranked 20 or lower. It's just something to think about, something to ponder, because they've got some they've got some offensive players in Ottawa too. They just shipped Helen back over to Chicago to get Alex DeBrincat. They just signed Claude Giroux. They got that Stutzel guy. They hung 7 goals on the Bruins. Like, they could score. It's just weird to see that. And another thing that's good to see, which of course I got to mention, your Boston Bruins are number 1 in the league in goal differential at a +23.
Oh,
Nice.
I love this team, man. This team is so much fun.
You know what I wanted to bring up?
What?
Oh crap! No, it's an incredible stat. Oh shit! I gotta find it. Damn it! I tweeted it. Hang on, it was a retweet from yesterday. I'm scrolling through. Here it is. The Bruins. A little bit of home cooking. 7-0 on the home. 7-0 at TD Garden. Time with the lead. The Bruins have led the game when they're playing at home for 251 minutes and 40 seconds. I want you to guess how much time the Bruins have been losing while playing at TD Garden. So keep in mind, they've had the lead for over 251 minutes. Now, how many minutes have they been losing at the Garden?
7 games at the Garden?
Yep.
You said 240?
251 minutes and 40 seconds.
250.
51 minutes and 40 seconds.
51
and 40 seconds.
Well, 7.
No, don't do math. Don't do
math.
Just tell me what you honestly think.
At the Garden, probably. Oh my god! I mean, 251 minutes. It's probably. It sounds absurd, but like 7.
7 minutes.
Yeah, of being behind in a game. 7 minutes locked in. 7.
The Bruins are 7-0-0 at the TD Garden. They've had the lead for 251 minutes and 40 seconds. The Bruins at the TD Garden in their 7 games this season have been losing for a total of 1 minute and 17 seconds.
What?
That is unbelievable.
Say that again. How long?
The Bruins have had the lead at TD Garden through 7 games for 251 minutes and 40 seconds. The Bruins have been losing for a total of 1 minute and 17 seconds. I mean,
no.
We've got something
that out? Who
cooking up
tweeted that
here.
out?
That would be Kevin Paul Dupont, blue check.
Oh my god! So
Reporter,
the
writer,
Globe.
word tinkerer, designated for assignments. I'm just reading his Twitter bio. Yeah, he works for the Globe.
Oh my god!
That is like, what the hell?
That's absurd.
That's like, that's like playing NHL and turning offsides off, and you're playing on rookie. Like, that is that good? Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Something's
1
brewing
minute?
at the TD Garden.
Yeah. No, we're not. We're in our home.
Oh my god. That's
and like, this is why like they've got something special going up here. And even, games that they're behind, you don't think they're out of, or you think that they're out of, suddenly they score a barrage of goals and they're back in it. Like, they lost to Ottawa. We talked about it before. They scored 3 goals in like a minute and a half, and then gave up 2, and then scored like another 2 in like a minute. And like, I know Ottawa's at the bottom of the division or bottom of the league right now, but like the potential for this team to make some noise is like, it's like a fire that's ready to explode. Like, it's just, they got something cooking.
See, and now Now I'm going back in the game logs trying to find that minute that we were down at home. Who it was against? It
Yeah.
must have been the Wild, right? No, because that game.
What
Nope,
about
nope,
Anaheim? Were they losing to Anaheim?
nope. It wasn't the Anaheim game. Was it the? Nope, it wasn't the Star game. Was it the Red Wings game? No chance. Nope. The nope. The Blue Jackets got shut out at home.
Did Arizona score the first goal of the game?
Oh, you know what? No, they didn't. I think it had to. No, because we were in Pittsburgh for that game. Was it the rain? Nope, we were in Madison Square Garden. I don't know. It's gonna take me a while to find that and figure it out. I'll figure it out at some other point. But that's crazy. What a
Wait.
stat, dude. Thank you, Kevin.
I
Or Paul DuPont.
want to find it.
It's
It's okay. Hang on. You can. I'm finding this.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense because we shut out the Blue Jackets at home. That Pittsburgh game where we were losing, that was in Pitt. That Wild game, it wasn't the Wild game because they came back. The Wild came back and tied it. What game was it? I'm very interested to find out. It wasn't the Blues. Or was it the Blues? No, it wasn't. DeBrusk scored first. It wasn't the Wings. I don't know what game it was.
I'm like opening up every single home game to go check.
Unless it wasn't the Washington game either. Huh. Interesting. Well, while Mel listens to it, or while Mel tries to find it, I want to thank everybody for listening. As always, if you find it, feel free to just jump in. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for listening to the Something's Bruin podcast. You got it? Who is it?
I found it. Minnesota Wild.
It was the Wild game.
Minnesota Wild. Brandon Duhaime scored 18 minutes and 5 seconds into the first period. And then a minute and 17 seconds later, Nick Foligno, baby. Nick Foligno scored, made the game 1-1. Bruins scored again. No, I'm sorry. That wasn't 18 minutes into the first. That was with 18 minutes left in the first. So about 2 minutes into the game, the Wild scored. Then the Bruins scored about a minute later to tie the game. Then they scored later in the first to take a 2-1 lead, and they ended up winning 4-3 in overtime. Damn. Minnesota Wild, they're the ones.
Wow. Well,
boy, that was some detective work by me.
It was some detective work. Yeah. Any police departments out there listening, you just got a hell of a resume right there from Mel. But yeah, hey, as always, thank you guys for listening to the Something's Bruin podcast. This was episode 15. Please continue to send DMs, continue to reach out on Twitter, just interact. It's fun. It's awesome.
Hey. I know this is a little late, but y'all better have voted today. It's your civic duty, damn it.
Civic duty. I worked today, and then after work, I went to go vote. What's your excuse?
Yeah, I got no excuse. Yeah. I voted as well.
I know Ethan was pissed because he didn't get the sticker.
Oh, did he tweet about it?
Yeah.
I must have missed that. Oh yeah, I always go for the sticker. I missed the sticker. Yeah, in when was it? 2020. I'm 23, so I the first presidential election I could have voted in was the last one, and I missed the sticker. So I made my friend who was driving home grab me an extra sticker on their way back to school because I wanted one.
Do you know where it is right now? Do you have it?
Yeah,
anywhere?
It's on the back of my laptop.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, I saw you tweeted that out.
Yeah, I'm keeping a little collection of I voted stickers in the back of my laptop.
Yeah, you want to hear how much of a weenie I am?
Absolutely.
I have every sticker from when I voted on a piece of paper with the date written on it.
No, that's not weenie. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like back in the day when like your friends would have like that cool little catalog book where they would keep all the quarters from every state in the country?
I used to have that too.
Of course you did. Oh my god, of course you did. No, I have a million stickers in the back of my laptop, and every one is different than the rest. But one consistent thing I'm trying to do, actually, this is a little bit of a segue or a tidbit. My water bottle here, my hydro flask. Every time I go somewhere, like I vacation somewhere or I just go somewhere cool, I always have to get a sticker from there and I put it on my water bottle. So I got Cape Cod, Disney, Nashville, my college, Quinnipiac, Vegas, my brother's farm in Georgia, New York City, and I'm trying to do something like that in the back of my laptop, but with I voted stickers. So it's a very expensive MacBook. I intend on having this computer for the next 15 presidential elections, so there should be quite a boy. I would be old as hell, maybe not, but there should be
You'd
quite a
like
few I voted.
85.
Yeah. Oh my god, good math. Well, that's not including the 23 years I've already been on this earth, but that would have quite the collection of stickers in the back of my computer.
Yeah.
Wait, would it be? No, it would not be 85.
Well, it's 15 times
15
4.
times 4 is 60.
Yeah, so 85 or 83, however old you are.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
at that.
you're right. Okay, all right.
All right. Well, with that all being said, this is episode 15 of Something's Brewing. I'd like to remind everybody we are in partnership with the Black and Gold Productions LLC. You can follow them on Twitter at BNG Productions. You can follow myself on Twitter at _ Mike Sullivan. You can follow Nick on Twitter at Nick Melanson _, and you can follow our podcast account on Twitter at Bruin something, no G at the end. And little plug right here for our YouTube channel. Go check out our YouTube channel right now. If you haven't seen it yet, go subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. You can find us on YouTube at Something's Brewing. So same as the podcast title. You can follow us there. We got 2 videos up there right now. Last episode, that would be episode 14. That's posted up, our Halloween edition one. And then my little short on Mitch Miller. Yeah, go follow that. Subscribe, like, comment, do anything you want. Comment on our Halloween costumes, what we could do better, if we look better in our Halloween costumes or as our normal selves.
Oh wait, I wanted to do this live, but so I obviously I have a little bit of scruff coming here. I got a little bit of a stash, and I put this fake stash right over it.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, rip it.
Ow.
This is why you should be watching our YouTube channel.
This is where the sticker was the worst.
Oh man.
I can't rip it because I don't want to rip my.
Watch our YouTube channel.
Oh, that was a good one.
There it is. Nick Melanson taking off the Steve Harvey mustache. But thank you all for listening so much. And we will catch you guys next week.
Bye.